Welcome to the Metal Detecting Podcast, brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. We're digging the plugs and pinpointing the topics you want to hear. Now here's your hosts, Dave Kimball and Grant Hansen.
This show is brought to you by XP Metal Detectors. XP Metal Detectors is a high-end, innovative metal detector company with great machines and great pinpointers. For more information, go to xpmetaldetectors.com. For a dealer near you, try a Google search or go to xpdeus-usa.com. Hello and welcome to the Metal Detecting Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Kimball, coming to you from Central Oklahoma, and I am joined today by my co-host, Grant Hansen, coming to you from New Jersey. How's the weather over there, Grant?
Oh, it's nice and cold in the 20s and the 30s. I'm still hoping to get out at least one more time this year before the ground really freezes over. Fingers crossed. We'll see what would happen. How about with you?
We got that really ice cold wind coming through, but it starts off kind of cool, but then it ends up in the 50s, so it's not really terrible. Not yet.
Yeah, that's not horrible. But I guess 'tis the season, right? Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, everything's coming up. So
the rest of this year is going to fly by, and next thing you know, it's going to be 2020. Can you believe that? 2020.
It's funny. I was just reading and realizing that you remember the whole Y2K thing and change your computer settings and all the shutdowns. That was 20 years ago.
It's so hard to believe. 20 years ago.
I know. Wow. Oh, man. Well, the time just flies by.
Yeah, it does, man.
Do you guys do anything for Christmas and celebrations and stuff?
We're gonna do the normal thing. I think we're spend some time at home. I'm gonna go probably to my parents, probably Christmas Eve, and do some dinner, and then we'll do something here on Christmas Day, and I think it'll be nice.
Yeah, we do the same. I go to my parents' house on Christmas Eve, and then we hang around here on Christmas Day, and then probably go to my brother and sister-in-law's house for a bit. Just a bunch of eating and playing with the kids. It's a fun time.
Oh yeah, and you know what else? For this Christmas holiday coming up, we have a huge contest, and everybody got a chance to win an ORX, an XP ORX, and not only an XP ORX, it comes with the 11-inch X35 coil, but also an MI6 pinpointer and a hard carrying case with it. And you also get XP swag, all courtesy of Michael and Daniel from XP Metal Detectors Americas. Now, this is like over $1,000 worth of equipment. Now, that's awesome, man.
It's crazy. And, if that wasn't sweet enough, they're also going to get an Omega Mills pouch as part of it. So whoever wins this is going to be ready to rock and roll for 2020.
Oh, yes. Yeah, exactly. And all they have to do to win, they got to go to our YouTube channel and check out. It's a massive XP Metal Detector giveaway contest. In the video, you got to find a golden egg and follow the instructions on how to win. This is sponsored by XP Metal Detectors Americas, as I said, and all you got to do is find that golden egg. And I know it's a lot of stuff to do on there, but you know what? This is over $1,000 worth of stuff. So, we already have over 100 people that are entered in it right now. So I would get on it if you want a brand new metal detector for a chance to win.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that little golden egg is in a sneaky little spot, so you got to watch closely. I know there's some people who've had to watch 2 or 3 times to find it. I myself had to do the same. So, but it's fun. It's finding the clue.
Just in time for Christmas too.
We've got a fantastic show tonight. We've got a great guest, Detect America's very own Frank Lopergolo. We've got lots to talk to him about detecting, restoring finds, research, and also going to learn about a very special fundraiser he and Detect America has organized.
I can't wait to talk to him. He's a really interesting guy. They've been doing their show for quite some time, about 8 years now, somewhere around there.
Yeah, going on 8 years now. They're one of the OGs, if you say it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and they got some, like you say, they got some fundraising stuff going on, and so we definitely want to check them out and talk to them about that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the conversation. I know he's got a lot to say, and it's always good stuff. So we'll be right back with Frank Lopergolo.
This is Michael from XP Metal Detectors Americas. Be sure to check out the new XP ORX metal detector, models starting at $649.
This segment is brought to you by Omega Mill Pouches, the official digging pouch of XP Team USA. If you're looking for a rugged, hunt-tested, washable pouch, look no further than Omega Mill. Get on eBay and search Omega Mill Pouches. That's OMEGAMILL.
We'd like to welcome someone who's a veteran to the hobby and has helped grow an online community of metal detectorists in the USA and all around the world. From Detect America and owner of Detect America Geotech Services, please welcome Frank Lopergolo. So how you doing, Frank?
Good, guys. How you doing?
Doing great. Welcome to the show. And I got to say hello to a fellow New Jersey native. I always like talking to other New Jerseyans.
Well, we're South Jersey, so we're kind of like another country down here.
Yeah, you are. And I just heard Governor Murphy did declare that Central New Jersey is real. So we've got 3 places. So, yeah, we're excited to have you on the show. We got a lot to talk to you about tonight. I think everyone's going to have to indulge us as we do maybe keep going back and about New Jersey and how great it is. But yeah, we're excited to get started.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I'll let y'all bask in your glory of New Jersey, but we have a lot to talk about in regards to treasure hunting. First, I want to start off with your holiday mission of raising funds for Teresa Thexton, who has beaten cancer but is now suffering from some devastating injuries. Can you let us know about Teresa and your fundraising efforts?
Yeah, sure. Teresa is actually a kind of a newbie to the hobby. She was very aggressive about learning the hobby. She contacted me and Steve, and we were filling her in with some tips and stuff. And we actually brought her onto our show. She really brought a newbie perspective to it and asked questions that a lot of the old timers kind of forgot. Then not long after that, she was diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer. She faced it head on. She was good, upbeat, good attitude. She was ready to fight it. She was walking up a set of stairs. She fell down backwards and fell down 10, 12 stairs, broke her back, pretty much severed her spine. She's paralyzed now permanently from the waist down, in addition to receiving a traumatic brain injury. To top everything off, her family put up $12,000 to help to kind of retrofit her home for handicap access, and the contractor took off with the money. So we couldn't just sit back and do nothing. We had to try and do something about it. So we started the GoFundMe page for Teresa, and it's really kind of taken off.
Wow, that's terrible to hear on so many accounts. But I'm really glad you're doing this and supporting her. And the fundraiser for those who are interested in donating, I'm going to pledge I will donate after this show. It's an opportunity to win some great prizes. Every $5 you donate is a chance to win. Can you tell us about the prizes being offered?
Well, you guys over at XP Team USA sent us a box of stuff, guys. We've got 2 XP pinpointers. We've got a box of shirts, hat, patches, a whole pile of stuff I can't even count. We've got from Gold Digger Metal Detector. We've got a new Mind Lab Vanquish. We've got a Simplex from Note to Macro. Dozens and dozens of coins, custom that they made Carson City print coins, hats, bottles, shirts, power packs, crystals, gold nugget.
Wow.
And we still have stuff coming in. There's still a couple other manufacturers that are shipping these.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, they really stepped up and donated to the cause.
Yeah, all right. So when will the prize drawings be, and how can people find it so they won't miss out?
The 23rd of December on the Detect America page, we'll have a link. It'll be during one of our shows. We usually do our shows on Thursday nights. That particular week, it'll be Monday night, the 23rd, and it will be live. It'll probably be about a 2-hour event. We always do something for the holidays, and this year it's going to be pretty much a bunch of us getting together and giving away stuff to people who donated.
Wow, that's fantastic. We'll be making sure to promote it as much as we can, and just want to say thank you for leading this campaign. It's really great to see the metal detecting community come together to help and support a fellow detectorists. For all our listeners, please log on to gofundme.com/F/diggers for Teresa. We're going to put the link in the description of this podcast, so you can go find it easily there. But otherwise,
just so people are aware that there were some issues with the GoFundMe tonight. So if you can't get through on the link will be going to again tomorrow sometime.
Great. Yeah, if you can't get in, keep trying.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and also you can always contact us for any questions, or contact Frank also on Facebook if you got any questions about anything. If you can't get on that page or anything like that, and I'm sure you can get some information. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. We can direct everything should be copacetic come tomorrow, but if not, we have alternative methods as well.
And so you're a former police officer, and being a former police officer, you must have had some amazing experiences in uniform. Can you tell us a little bit about that experience?
Well, I think that my most notable experience was getting shot in the line of duty. Pretty much me retiring after that.
Wow. That's
I was a police officer for quite a few years locally, and I definitely define myself by my career as a police officer, and that's pretty much what got me into metal detecting.
Well, it's funny. I was going to ask if you've ever used a metal detector to recover evidence.
Yeah, on several occasions. My first day on the beat, there happened to be a guy that sold metal detectors on my beat, and then right after I got my first detector and started messing around with it, then opportunities came up. I detected both above and underwater on homicide scenes and for several jurisdictions. That kind of parlayed itself into ground penetrating radar, which I do regularly for police departments, and I recently another homicide scene for the ground penetrating radar.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I was contacted a few months ago, and from a person who his son was murdered on a street down nearby me, and he wanted to know if we can go and look for the bullet using metal detectors. So me and my club went out there, and I actually found a 9mm in range of where the shots were fired right off the road.
Right.
And we had detectives out there collecting the evidence. Still haven't heard back yet or not if that was actually led to anything, because they had a few people in custody and a few guns that they thought might have something to do with it, but I guess I don't know. I haven't heard anything, so maybe it wasn't.
Exactly, and quite often they don't tell you till after the case is disposed of anyway.
So let's talk Detect America. It's been around for a while now. What, 7-8 years now? Is that right?
Yeah, I think we're heading into our 8th year.
Yeah. So what's your motivation for starting this group?
Well, I'll tell you, I've been in this hobby for probably going on 35 years, and as social media kind of developed, I became part of a couple of different blog shows, a couple of different radio type shows, and the last one that I was on, and we won't mention names of shows or people, but it was kind of terrible. The guy was just he treated newbies like they were not important, like they had nothing to do with the hobby. If you found something that he didn't find, and he didn't have any time for you, and me and a couple guys got tired of it, and we decided to create a group and ultimately a show that basically kind of catered to the newbie and newbie questions, and we kind of packed the show and the page with veterans, so we could have a good interaction. And it took off. We started with 54 members, and within 2 weeks we had 1,000, and then we're just about 9,000 now.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah, I was trying to do the math in my head, and going on 8 years, we're pretty close on that. I know you've been doing live broadcasts, both audio and video, for about as long as I can remember. How would you say your show has evolved over the years?
Honestly, other than people in and out, we've changed the cast members. Cast members go on and they do other things, and don't simply have the time to dedicate every week to it. Other than that, we really tried not to evolve it that much. The framework that we set it up, catering to the newbies, making it very family friendly, kind of work, and it really hasn't changed all that much. Technology is a little bit better. Sometimes it works, it's better. We do a lot more pop-up shows. We'll do a lot more live videos from the field or something like that, and people seem to enjoy it. It's just a very, very family. Not that we're Boy Scouts over here, but it's a very family atmosphere, and it works for us. And we really haven't tried to change it a whole heck of a lot.
Okay. Yeah. So Steve Specifico has been with you for quite some time. What's it like having a friend like Steve to pursue your passion?
Steve who? Yeah. Oh, Steve, yeah. listen, you know what? We kind of got into a rut with the show a little bit. We tried to have guests on every week. We tried to make serious topics every week, and you just kind of can't do that. If you can't have a little bit of fun, if you can't joke around a little bit, it kind of gets stagnant. And Steve brings an entirely different element to the show. Steve is just hilarious. He knows his way around a metal detector. We have, as much as we laugh on the show, that's as much as we laugh when we're in the field digging. And our numbers, our viewers, our members have definitely reflected how much we like having Steve around.
That's great. Yeah, we'll have to see if he'd like to come on our show one night. Chat with him for a bit.
Steve's a ham. He'll come on.
So, what do you think the future holds for the Tech America broadcast? Anything new? Are you just going to keep plugging away?
We're going to keep plugging away. Our plan is to do a lot more remote stuff in the coming year. Now, Steve's a retired police officer as well. So we kind of have a little bit of freedom with time. So we're going to try and do remotes. We're going to visit a lot more of these live digs, try and do live broadcasts from these digs. Unfortunately, we were going to do it last year, but knee surgery kind of kept me out of the game for a little bit. And then with the Ugly Box taking off, we're going to do a lot of promotional stuff with the Ugly Box. So it's pretty much the same thing. We're just going to try and do a lot more of it.
Yeah. So when you're out swinging your detector in New Jersey, you have a lot of access to fields, beaches, home sites, woods. What's your preference?
My preference is always colonial fields. Fields or woods in the old areas. I'm a dirt digger. I do dig the beach every year, 3-4 times a week, every summer. But like I tell everybody, for me, digging the beach pays for the toys, and digging the dirt is for the fun. So for the cooler temperatures we've done last couple of years in 20-degree weather in the woods. I'm definitely a dirt digger at heart, though.
Yeah, I'm with you. I prefer the dirt best, and I know firsthand that New Jersey soil is not always the greatest at preserving artifacts. We try to clean them as best we can, but you just mentioned your Ugly Box, and it seems like it could be a great help for people to restore that stuff that's been in the ground for quite a while. Can you tell us more about the Ugly Box?
Yeah, sure. So about not long after I started metal detecting, the guy who kind of mentored me in this hobby gave me an article in Popular Electronics magazine. I think it was from like 1969. It's 1970 when a guy built an electrolysis unit out of a dustbuster, power pack of a dustbuster, and it worked. It kind of turned everything orange, and that was my goal. I just kept screwing with that. And later on, I became a member of University of Pennsylvania's archaeological dig team, and they kind of brought in the first real knowledge to bring in metal detectors into their archaeological program. And one of the projects that we do to justify the money we were getting was I presented to bring electrolysis back into the mainstream and figure out why it turned everything orange. It was highly used in museums for years, but when everything turns the same color, they kind of got away from it. So we took on this project. We literally hand-sawed through a couple thousand coins, large cents. I mean, you would cry if you saw the coins that we destroyed testing, and we tested for resistivity, continuity. We changed the design of the unit 100 times. So the first unit came out for the college about maybe 15, 20 years ago, and that worked great. And then it kind of developed into this unit that we have today, which is pretty much the best thing that we've come up with since we started. The new unit is called TNT, and it's a combination of hypersonics and in-series electrolysis.
So what type of artifacts are good candidates for electrolysis, and what should you avoid?
The only thing today, whether it's an artifact, whether it's a coin, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that you kind of need to avoid are nickels. Nickels, for some reason, the metal itself, the nickel itself reacts to the process. It's not the metal you're using. It's not brine solution you're using. It's the fact that electricity is passing through it. Nickels turn color. War nickels can be done to do it short term. You don't do a long cook. Other than that, the N series that we've developed now can handle anywhere from, say, 3.5 volts of current through 24 to 30 volts of current. You can actually run multiple tanks. I just cooked a 70-pound bell, a bronze iron bell, with this little handheld unit that I built.
Wow! Did you say 70 pounds?
Yeah, 70-pound bell. Quite large.
I know a lot of people are afraid of electrolysis. I know some people, when they see a video of me finding a coin in the field and rubbing it to see what it is, is. I'm kind of like, it's been in the ground for a couple hundred years. I'm not going to do much damage to it.
Exactly.
What would you say to calm their fears about using electrolysis?
The theory, the science behind this is tried and true. This isn't something that I developed, in my sleep one night and woke up and built an electrolysis unit. There is a ton of science behind this. It is absolutely 100% tried and true. If you hook electrolysis up the proper way, if you follow the basic rules that are out there for electrolysis, it cannot hurt your coin. It cannot hurt your relic. It is not physically possible. The problem is that there's guys out there that are literally pushing mayonnaise. Put mayonnaise on your coin. They're telling you to soak it in lemon juice and stuff. And the thing is, there's a lot of techniques out there that may clean your coin for the moment. Electrolysis does so much more. I tell people, electrolysis isn't about cleaning your coin. Electrolysis is about stopping your coin or your artifact break down further. The cleaning, the plating that you can do is a side effect of it. It's a great side effect, but it's a side effect of it. Once you cook a coin, once you cook an artifact, you have slowed or stopped any further breakdown of that metal. And then with the additions to the new TNT unit, we can now take a cookified coin found in the sea. We can take it down through the crust to the base metal without scratching it in literally hours, where it used to take us 2 weeks.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So is there any chemicals you add in there with it while you're doing that, or salt or anything like that? Or?
Yeah, the only thing you add to it, the only chemical you ever use with electrolysis is your brine solution. And if I don't get anything through to people that want to try this, I'll tell you this: there's a million videos out there. There's guys out there that I actually respect in this hobby that are adding lemon juice, that are adding citric acid. The solution in your brine mix, tank of water that you put your coin in, does absolutely nothing to clean your coin. It only cuts electricity. So the goal is the only thing you want to put in there is something that will conduct the electricity and wash off the coin completely. Our brine solution is a medical grade bicarbonate soda, a medical grade saline salt. You can use sea salt. You can use baking soda from the dollar store. Just don't use anything with iodine in it. Iodine works like a heavy metal. It can penetrate the coin, and over time it will actually start to break the coin down. Basic solution of baking soda and a non-iodized sea salt or an organic salt.
Right. Yeah, I hear a lot of people have problems with they will use lemon or some other type of acidic solution, and then they'll end up closing it in with some type of a sealer, and then it'll start eating away at that coin years later.
Absolutely. First of all, the sealers that are out there, they make your coin look shiny. I get it. The thing people have to remember about a lot of coins in the world over the past 1,000 years is that none of them are 100% pure metal. There's no such thing as 100% pure silver coin.
All right.
So some of the metals that were mixed in this thing, by their very nature, they fight each other. They start to break down just by sitting around doing nothing. But when you steal a coin with wax, and this process is going on inside the coin, it's kind of like trying to cover a boiling pot of water. You can hold it in for a while, but eventually it's going to go south on you. Eventually that degrade that's taking place inside that coin is going to bubble out through this. And when that happens, you can't fix it. You can't electrolyze it away. You can't polish it away. I tell everybody, if you want to seal your coin with the wax because it makes it look shiny, fantastic. But don't leave it on. Strip it down every now and then. Give it a bath every now and then. Let the coin breathe a little bit. People don't understand that. You have to let nature take its course. It's going to pattenize a little bit. It's going to darken over time, but to seal that stuff in is going to actually make it worse in the long run. And lemon juice, acids of any kind, guys, acids or petroleum products of any kind. Yes, they will clean your coin. Yes, they will clean your artifact. They impregnate that metal with chemicals that cannot be got rid of. And over time, they will absolutely deteriorate away that metal.
What about olive oil? I hear olive oil being mentioned a lot. Does that do anything to the coin, or is it just kind of help the dirt kind of oil it off?
The thing with olive oil is it's a great coin prep as long as you use it in the short term. Olive oil has a type of acid in it, but here's a big word for you. It's the acid in olive oil is microosmotic, which means it takes forever to penetrate. So short-term usage of olive oil over a couple of weeks definitely dissolves the dirt away and can be washed away. If you dump it in olive oil and leave it in for a year, then ultimately it's going to discolor your coin and the acid could start working on it. Mm-hmm. But as a prep for a 1 week solution, 2 week solution, olive oil actually does a lot of good. Just clean off. You have to have that coin squeaky clean before you can try and cook it in electrolysis.
Yeah. I haven't done this in years, and I'll probably never do it again. But I mean, I used to soak my coins in boiling hydrogen peroxide to get some of the stuff off it.
Let me tell you a quick story about boiling hydrogen peroxide. So when we were testing the coins at the college, we were literally every wives' tale that was out there, we were trying. And one of the professors had told us that, especially a coin that was dug out of the ground, when these coins start to break down, they develop what we call delamination. You've dug large cents, you've dug kgs where you see it. They almost look like they're splitting apart in the edges.
Yeah.
What happens is biologic material gets into this, which is no big deal. Electrolysis will take it right out. Even if sometimes the washing will take it out. But hydrogen peroxide reacts to biologic material. Ever put hydrogen peroxide on the cut, you've seen it foam 10 times the size of the drop of peroxide. That happens in your coins too. And when you boil hydrogen peroxide, it will expand at 100 times the rate. So we were always told, be careful with dirty coins because it expands very fast. It could actually break the coin. Mm-hmm. And we had rake so aggressively, it literally popped in the tank. And the guy who was performing this little experiment had to go to the emergency room and have starch copper pulled out of his face.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Now, it's one in a million times. You have to have the right point. It has to have the right amount of biologic in there. But here's the thing with peroxide. Peroxide works on biologic material. So if you have biologics on the surface, it's going to take them off. It really isn't doing anything but coating the coin. If you even cold peroxide, which is almost ancillary, almost benign, if you soak it in regular old peroxide for too long, you'll take it out and it may look clean to you, but they always get this kind of a milky white film over. And that milky white film that's caused by long-term peroxide use can't be electrolyzed away. Not that I'm trying to tell everybody electrolysis is the only thing to clean their coins. We use a lot of different methods to prep coins and stuff too. But there's certain things out there that have become so widely used, people have talked them up to the point where they believe them to be fact, and they're just, especially for the newbies, they're wives' tales. They're not going to do what a proper conservation method to do for your coin or your artifact.
So it sounds like a really cool product. If anybody wants to get more info on the Ugly Box, they can log on to detectingadventures.com. What price point are you selling them for?
Honestly, I'm not sure where they're at. Right now, all I do is build them and ship them out. I ship them out to the distributor. So I'm not sure where they are price point right now. I know that they're available 4, 5, 6 stores across the country, and it's growing. But all the details, the videos and everything are on either our YouTube page or on the Detecting Adventures LLC website. They're probably in the $60 to $65 range, but I'm not positive off the top of my head.
Yeah, the golddigger.com has it for $68.99, so you're pretty close.
Yeah, and the thing about the new unit that people need to know is it's also ultrasonic. It comes with the new Ugly Box is 2 sides. There's the N series electrolysis side and then the kinetic motor side. And with the Ugly Box comes an accessory we call the Thrasher, an accessory we call the Thunder. And these are hypersonic. The Thunder is a hypersonic probe. You put it in the tank with the electrolysis, and it will remove up to 5 times more dirt. It gives better connection. The stuff literally peels away. And for your cookie fine coins, there's coins that you can't get anything off of with the heavy-duty crust. I got videos and pictures up on my page about we just did a 500-year-old cob that we pulled out of Louisiana in the 80s that we didn't know anything about other than the cob. 306 cobs that day, and this one happened to be 1543. And the electrolysis, the Thrasher, the Thunder electrolysis unit took it right down to the date, all the detail on it. Check out our page and check out some of the pics of what the Ugly Box has done for some of these really thrashed coins.
Yeah, still time for Christmas shopping. So if you sound intrigued, check that.
I'm building and shipping, guys. I'm in my little shop now 24/7 right now. Building and shipping.
All right. You are listening to Frank Lopergolo. We'll be right back.
If you are looking for more information about XP products such as dealers or updates, then check out MetalDetectorsAmericas.com.
Hello, this is Daniel from XP Metal Detectors Americas, and I just wanted to let you know about the XP Metal Detectors Americas.com website, which is full of information on the KU's metal detectors and the ORX metal detector. Both are wireless and do all aspects of metal detecting, which is gold prospecting, coins, jewelry, and relics.
And we are back with Frank Lopergolo. So let's switch gears. I'd like to talk to you about Benedict Arnold.
Oh, yeah.
You had an amazing adventure of doing, what I would say is proper research, looking for clues, and you actually wound up finding the site of Benedict Arnold's headquarters. Take us through that experience.
Well, here in South Jersey, it was one of the iconic sites that everybody was looking for, and literally had been looking for it for many years. Benedict Arnold had a headquarters down here in southern New Jersey. He was in charge of a group of troops that would seize British ships as they came into Batstow and the waterways here in South Jersey. And we were looking for. We don't give the name out of the site, the tavern site, simply because the owner requests us not to. So we refer to it as the White Pines Tavern. It's not the White Pines Tavern, but that's what we call it. So I had being part of the college team, I had access to a lot of resources at some of the colleges, and a couple of the resources we tapped into were letters that were written by troops at Valley Forge, referring to coming into South Jersey to the White Pines Tavern and picking up supplies, basically, and taking them back to Valley Forge. So years and years and years of research put us in a 5-mile stretch of road that we kind of knew this is where it was, but we simply couldn't find it. And as fate would have it, we took some aerials. We had some aerials from the 1930s, and the aerials showed these really intricate pathways and kind of a filigree design that was referred to in these letters, and that helped us narrow it down. It named the road, it named the trail. Once we put them all together, it kind of narrowed it down for us. And all we needed now is try and get a permission. And lo and behold, one of our diggers, one of the guys in our crew, Dr. John Monero, had actually had this permission for a couple of years, and remember. So our first day out there was just incredible. We were just picking up. Let's put it this way: I have personally pulled 30 to 35 reals off the site, and I'm one of 4 or 5 guys that have been working the site. We found the tavern. The tavern foundation was still there. It was buried under a couple hundred years of fire thorns and brush, and we just constantly pull. We still go there today. We're still pulling artifacts. We've got inscribed silver lid boxes that were tossed, just Jersey coppers, the amount of artifacts, pummels from old colonial period saddles. The amount of stuff that's been pulled off of here is just crazy.
It sounds like an amazing site, and kudos to you guys for really finding it. And you mentioned how maps can be deceiving or they're inaccurate.
Oh, yeah.
I had a kind of a related detecting outing where we got permission at the site that was supposedly Major Andre's hanging site up in Tapan, New York. Right. I mean, literally, we're standing right in front of the monument where that happened. But I mean, even though that's where it's recorded, I don't think that's exactly where it happened. Well,
that's the thing. That's the thing with the old map, because then you've got hand annotations on it that at the time people think they were helping you out, and they totally were not helping you out. Sometimes you get lucky, and you can match modern map. If you can match a modern map with, especially waterways, not so much roadways. Roadways can move a little bit, but modern maps with waterways, even if they're not exact, even if they're just close, it can help you out a lot, because the waterways have pretty much always been there, and the waterways and these old trails that later on became roads is what really zeroed in the location for it.
Oh,
yeah. Old letters and correspondence can be kind of deceiving too. It's funny. I've got a book of a catalog of all the correspondence for the 1780, the Battle of the Blockhouse in North Bergen, New Jersey, which is probably just a couple miles from my house. And when you read the letters about the same account, they're told completely different depending on what side you're on.
Oh, for sure.
They're spinning these tales. So you're trying to look for the truth in it.
Yeah, but that's it. And we've learned over the years, look at these. If you're lucky enough to have access to these letters, try and pick out the big blockbuster things. We've seen letters where every letter was so different, but they all talk about this gigantic tree that they would hang out there. There's always landmarks in these letters that you can cross-reference to other letters, and if you're lucky, those references may be important to you, and it may be something like we did. It may be something you stick in your back pocket for 10 years, and at some point in time, it's going to make sense to you.
How often do you actually get to go back to that site, check it over?
We go every year for a while. Generally, usually we'll do it in the winter months because we're pretty much well into the woods. The moss bat stays nice and soft, so we can dig. But we've got a lot of different sites. We're on to different sites that we're digging now. So it's a matter of, we've hit that site for 4 years. So the targets are starting to become a little scarce to us. So we're hitting other sites. We kind of put it into a mix where we'll go back to it here and there, and we'll hit it. But we'll definitely hit it once or twice every year.
That's great. Yeah, you mentioned earlier, when you're not swinging a coil, you've actually got some access to some big guns, ground penetrating radar. You mentioned you offer this as a professional service. Is that right?
Yeah, that's my business. What I do for business these days is I operate an underground locating service. A lot of DEP stuff. We'll locate tanks. But my favorite thing to do, and I do a lot of it every year, is I run the radar on historic sites. Pennypack Park Church was founded in the late 1600s. I went into Pennypack Park Church and found lost graves. We actually located the founder of the. They spent $1,000 on a big marker for him and put it in the wrong spot. We do a lot of the old colonial grave sites that you'll see on the side of the road. We'll go back into the woods and we'll find a lot of these graves that are lost to time and mark them out. So we do a lot of the historic stuff is my favorite thing to do with it, but I do a lot of industrial stuff with it as well.
Oh yeah. So what coolest thing that you have found with that?
The thing with the radar is it's not so much because, let's put it this way, you're not going out and finding a small cache of coins with that. There's a minimum strike target that you got to hit. It's got to be around 6 inches by 6 inches cubed. But the cool thing is we use it. Several groups in the area, the greater Philadelphia area, they're real big into digging privy pits. And the ground penetrating radar it was designed to find privy pits. And so we pulled these crews that pulled some amazing stuff out of the ground, out of these pits that we've located with the radar unit.
All right, that's awesome. How deep could that thing actually go?
Depending on the antenna that I have attached to it, I've had to read movement on these big casinos in Atlantic City. These things actually have wires, big cables that run down the interior into the ground. They stabilize the structure. So I'll check them periodically for movement, whether they have shifted or not. And I can check a cable. I can check an anomaly 80 feet down.
Nice. So
depending on the antenna, about 80 feet.
Wow. When you're looking for the bigger items, is your job just to locate it, or do you actually assist in the removal or the recovery of it?
No, the only thing we do is the location and identification. Then we will transfer that off to somebody who does it, environmental group that actually does the removal.
Wow. So
we do the testing. In other words, I can go out and if you have a suspected tank in the ground, I can do the soil testing and things along those lines. But that's once I locate it, I'll test for it, I'll mark it out, and then it's sent off to somebody else to do the actual removal.
So what type of process would you go through in identifying what the target is that you see? I mean, you could probably tell if it's just an empty void as opposed to something hard and solid or steel or metal. Can you tell the difference between metal and rock? Or
you can to a certain point. Rock is going to be a little bit more porous. Rock's going to absorb more of the radar than metal will. But usually it's not. In other words, I'm not taking the radar out to a field. I hit a target. I can't look at the radar and say, oh, I know that is. That's a VW 1978. You basically, I know what I'm going out there looking for. If it's a job to the DEP, if it's tanks, I know what I'm looking for. So once I can identify the size, I can pretty much tell, what tank it is, the size of the tank, things along those lines. I'm looking for underground water anomalies, water table anomalies. I know what I'm looking for, but I can tell you that there's an anomaly there. I can make a pretty good educated guess whether it's a metallic object, solid or porous or hollow. But that's about it. You really can't look at it and tell what it is.
So is this more like Is it a lot like a depth finder, kind of like a down scan imaging on a boat?
It is kind of, it's basically when you look at a radar screen, you're looking at a giant oscilloscope, and it's just a bunch of lines and waves. And what we're looking for is reflection. So, after a little bit of training with the thing, you can tell when something's reflecting off of a solid object, and then you look for consistency. So if I'm tracing out a big pipe, I'm going back and forth over where I think this pipe is, and then as long as I get a reflection of that piece of pipe and the trajectory stays the same, I kind of know what I'm looking at that point in time. Basically, you're out there looking for anomalies, you look for changes in the normal soil structure, and if you have an idea of what you're looking for, then you're more apt to be able to. In other words, if you're telling me that there's a 1,000-gallon tank in the ground, I hit an anomaly that happens to hit the criteria for a 1,000-gallon tank, I'm going to tell you that's what I believe it is. Mm-hmm. Now, you could dig it up and it was an old swimming pool that got covered over, but there's a chance that you take. It's basically best educated guess you can take.
All right. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. If somebody ever came up to you and gave you a one-day pass to hunt anywhere in the U.S. that's always been off limits to metal detecting, where would you hunt?
It would be Gettysburg, and absolutely all day long. I dug with the Southeast Pennsylvania Big Dig. That's what the project we worked on with the college, and we got to dig a lot of sites all around it. And the stuff that we found all around it was incredible. So I can't imagine what we would find on it.
It's got to be just incredible history underground there. But I do respect the fact that it's essentially a giant graveyard. So I understand why it's off limits. Yeah. Would be cool.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, there's so many cool things and belongings there that would actually represent the people that actually lost their lives there, and I think it'll be really neat to have a museum to be able to see all that and pay respects.
That's my point. Absolutely, and that's my point exactly. There's a lot of the bodies that were buried. I want to go so far to say most of the bodies that were buried there have been moved to a proper burial because they paid local citizens to go out there, dig these guys up, and give them proper burial. There are bodies buried there, and to think that these guys died, lost their stuff, and nobody knows that they're there. To me, I would go out there for free with a radar and look for the bodies. And if I could go out there and dig on Gettysburg, I would take nothing home. But I think it would be such a great feeling to be able to uncover some of this lost treasure and have it known, have it seen.
Right. Exactly.
And if you were to come across a body, of course you're not going to desecrate, you're not going to dig, you're not going to dig it up for a belt buckle. But to have this person who lost their lives 153 years ago, to have them now found and can be venerated. To me, that's my opinion of it. No, I don't think graveyards as a rule, but I love the fact that when I go out and I find graves for churches and organizations that have been lost for a century or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh well, hey Frank, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll have you on again if you'd like, because there's tons more we can talk about. And I just wanted to remind everybody about a few things. Again, the GoFundMe page for Teresa Thexton. We'll have the link in the show description, so try to make it easy for you. Make sure you log on to detect-america.com, join their Facebook group, get involved in the action. You guys have a YouTube channel. Just search Detect America. You'll find a lot of stuff.
Absolutely, guys. I appreciate it.
Yep. As I say, be sure to check out your live show every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
8 o'clock. We're now on at
8 o'clock now. Okay. Right. And you guys are on a variety of channels, right?
We are on, we do the Facebook Live, we're on live stream, and then through the live stream link, you can pick us up on Roku, Windstream, Apple TV, a number of them.
All right. Yeah. And again, the info on the Ugly Box was detectingadventures.com. So if you're looking for an Ugly Box, you might check them out. Also, it was great talking to you, and we'd love to have you back on again sometime, maybe sometime after after the drawings and the contest.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. You got it.
All right.
Thanks so much, Frank. Have a great night.
We want to reach out. I want to thank XP Team USA for the donation. It was greatly appreciated, guys. They overdid it, outdone themselves, and it's a greatly appreciated.
Oh yeah, we'd love to help. I mean, we love to help out, and we hope it generate enough money to help her out and her family. I know that's a terrible thing. the contractor took off with her all that money. I hope
On
they
top of
catch him
everything
or
else.
something. You know, that's just insane. Yeah, that's just a crazy story. I mean, geez. Yeah. We really hope that generate enough money to help her out and her family.
She's greatly appreciative of it.
All right. We'll see you.
All right, guys.
Frank.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.
Check us out online at xpdeus-usa.com.
XP has introduced its new ORX machine, a high-end machine at a mid-range price. The ORX has 4 factory preset programs, 2 gold, 2 coins, also 2 user programs. The ORX comes with a high-frequency coil and is compatible with the X35 coils. The ORX is now available in the USA. All right, welcome back, and that was Frank Lopergolo.
Yeah, thanks so much to Frank for joining us. Really good conversation. And I got to tell you, I learned so much about electrolysis. I think I'm going to, overcome my fears and give it a try.
Yes, I've been meaning to give it a try.
Yeah, for sure. And as a reminder, please, everybody, support the fundraiser to support Teresa Thexton. We've got a link to the GoFundMe site in our description for this show to make it nice and easy. So any help is appreciated. And like we said earlier, every $5 you donate, you get entered into win one of many, many prizes that they're giving away.
Yes, and then when we talked to Frank Lopergolo, it was earlier this week, and this is that was a pre-recorded interview. In the interview, we mentioned the GoFundMe link was down at the time. It is back up, so get on there and check it out.
Yeah, please do. And, check out detectamerica.com. That's detect-america.com. They're on Facebook. They're on YouTube. Makes it really easy. Just search in Google Detect America or on Facebook, and you'll find them.
Yeah, and once again, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for your chance to win a brand new ORX metal detector and pinpointer and an XP hard case, and also some XP swag from Michael and Daniel at XP Metal Detectors Americas, and also an Omega pouch.
Yeah, like we said earlier, it's a complete setup. So whoever wins this contest is going to be a very, very lucky, and I'm sure very, very happy person.
Oh, yes. And I hope everybody has a great Christmas and a great New Year's. We are going to take off a week for Christmas, in between Christmas and New Year's, to spend time with our own families and have our stuff going. And I'm sure everybody else will be having their things going. So we're going to take off that week, and we will be back January 10th.
Yeah, we'll have a great show lined up to kick off the new year, and we'll announce the winner of the contest. Maybe they'll join us on chat for that night and make everybody really jealous of what they won.
Yes, exactly. We're also going to be having some contests coming up on the podcast, so be listening for them, and we will see you January 10th.
Thanks, everyone. Happy New Year.
Get that permission, put the coil to the soil, and we'll catch you next time right here on the Metal Detecting Podcast. Brought to you by XP Metal Detectors.